Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good afternoon, good evening. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your place of domicile and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining us, one moment, share this video. While you are joining, share the video, invite others to join. Those of you who are because we just joined Facebook right now, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. Welcome to this program. If you are joining us, share the video and invite others to join. Share the video, invite others to join. Let us actually touch on the pressing issues. Let us touch on pressing issue. Very, very important. We haven't, been consistent in following up all the things that is happening across Nigeria and within Biafra land. So, of course, this evening we are going to be touching on those. Let's confirm. All right. We are coming out clearly. We are coming out clearly. So, we are going to actually be touching on the reason why we are always, you know, being exploited. If you look around you in Nigeria today, where we found ourselves, I believe you will agree with me that we are actually vulnerable. We are vulnerable. We're going to talk about the vulnerability of the Igbos, especially those in the political space. We are going to talk about their vulnerability and actually what led them to such vulnerability. Some of you may say it is in their making. Some of you may say that these people are just very selfish set of human beings. Some of you may even call them to that position where you will call them vultures. Some of you may even call them the devil incarnate. Anything you call them is actually, you know, justifiable. The reason why I say that anything you call them is justifiable because they have done a lot of things that stinks. So we are going to actually be navigating through that particular topic, and we are going to actually talk about the attack on the diplomatic convoy in Nigeria. The attack on the diplomatic convoy in Nigeria. Let me actually make sure. Okay. In Anambra State, to be precise, in Biafra land, the attack on the British convoy in Biafra land. I want you to understand what is going on in Nigeria ruled territory. I want us to understand what is going on. Of course, you might call the attack, so many of you might say it is IPOB, just like you will always say. You understand? Just like you will always say. And you are entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to actually point fingers at IPOB without any solid proof. Because as much as you are actually protecting Nigeria, even when we have seen Nigeria that it is like a hellfire created by the neo-colonialist, the colonialist, and actually enforce it on us. And we live in, we found ourselves emanating from there. So that same contraption, you know, you are defending. You might judge it because you are defending the British or neo-colonial contraption called, or British enclave called Nigeria. If you are defending it, you will say that Biafrans are the ones who did what happened at Anambra State, because a lot of you are very, very, irrational, especially in some thoughts. I'm trying to be very, very constructive this evening. I'm trying to be very constructive because I want to have a constructive dialogue or argument with you. And I'll be following up on that comment section. Those who are commenting, I believe the YouTube is right in front of me. The YouTube comment section is right in front of me, uh, which is at Judge Money Blog Africa on YouTube. We are not live on Twitter. So, the Facebook, I will be checking from whichever one that we come across. The reason why I want it to be very, very constructive is for you to ask yourself a question. I want you to digest it slowly. I don't want to actually force it on you. I want us to do some investigation right now. I want us to do investigation right now. Number one thing we're going to, in fact, I want us to conclude an investigation, not actually doing investigation. Let us conclude investigation. How this incident happened. In the middle of it, I'm going to read for you the news. How it happened according to the news we were presented with. So then we will ask ourselves, we'll do what if analysis. Very, very important. We're going to do it in order to make sure that we arrive at the same spot. Those of us who are very, very objective, those of us who know exactly, whom their frontal lobe is actually functional. Exactly, because, for lack of a better word, those of you who their frontal lobe is actually functional, we're going to, have some dialogue on that, and we'll come to some conclusion. Now, another thing we are going to talk about, the politics in Africa, the policies the politicians are making on behalf of us, on behalf of me and you and I. Those policies, those policies they are making, you'll find out that most of the time, such policies is not made to be or to work in your favor. Such policies are made to actually infringe your right. Now, and there are some other countries whom are actually calling for some of these policies to, to be made in their place, because they have never been exposed, to such policy. They have never been exposed to, amendment of some rights that might actually not be in favor of them today, and maybe in the future they will need it. It will favor them. Just because they haven't seen it working for them today, now they assume this policy is not going to favor us. Therefore, let us actually work on scrapping it out. Now you move ahead, you scrap it out because it is not going to favor you, without knowing that in future you might be needing it. There are many things you will find out of what I'm saying right now. There are many things, both the Constitution, which was amended in 1999. So there are many things which was actually scrap out, which is affecting so many of you. We know that some of these new democracies, they clamor for some such things to to be done in Africa. And then it is important that they understand and make thorough investigation. Learn from others' mistake. Learn from others' mistake. We don't make decisions emotionally. We make decisions rationally, because if you make a rational decision, it is born out of your emotions, and at some point it might come back, end up hurting you and hunting you. Now, we're going to talk about, first of all, the policies. Then after the policies, attacks on the British diplomatic convoy. U.S. diplomatic convoy at Anambra State in Biafra land. Now, in some of the, when we talk about policies that we found ourselves living with in Africa's, and maybe I will say, let me use Nigeria as a point of contact. Such policies, you find out there are some policies that you woke up seeing those policies being there. And because you have seen such policies being there, because of what you might be thinking at that point in time, you might not know that such policies are going to work in your own favor in future. You only thought about it now. That is some of these things, the reason why the Europeans are always more steps ahead of us. They are always more steps ahead of us because they think before they implement. And having seen the situation of your own, country in Africa, you decide to actually follow the European ways of implementing policies, or the European ways of actually enacting a law that will govern the country. I believe, it has been one of the biggest problems that African people are having today. Number one, they actually measured the size of their economy, measured the size of their population before they actually make a policy that is going to be directed towards an existential problem or threat to the country. Now, sometimes Africa will just adopt it, accept it, implement it in their economy that is moving in the opposite direction as the US economy. You adopt their policy that will help them to combat economic challenges. You adopt their policy while economies are going in an opposite direction. Now, they own the dollar. They own the dollar. Some of you are very confused right now, but relax. You're going to pick up something. They own this dollar that you are using to compare to your economy. If they own the dollar that you use to compare, with your own economy, because this dollar is what you use, your economy depend on to trade. If you cannot actually, you you can't trade basically in your currency, it is not recognized. Now, you are trading with dollars, and then America decided that they have a financial problem or financial crisis. A speech of the US president can change the situation of America. A speech of a US president can change their situation and the situation of the world, who are dependent on the dollar to trade or to succeed. Now you look at US now, as presidents said something, and they said this is the approach they are going to use in order to tackle this inflation, in order to tackle these economic challenges. Then, uninformed, you decided, no, we are going to go through this direction of the US. Then you go through that direction of the US without measuring the size of your economy, without measuring the problem of your economy, without actually asking yourself, are we facing the same type of problem? Why am I actually going to focus on what they say we should follow? Why? Those are the questions you ask yourself. And asking yourself such questions will enable you to do consultations. Do consultation based on the challenges you are facing. And every consultation must come with, there is highs. There will always be a high and a low. Because whatever decision you make, it will have a positive and negative impact in your life. But be it future or present, it will have a negative and positive impact. No matter what type of decision you make. The most important thing is how prepared are you? How prepared are you to deal with it? I am actually still moving towards the direction that you will not understand. What am I trying to say? Now, of course, you understand your currency is actually dependent on dollars to make a trade. And the dollar is being controlled by the USA because it is their currency that your economy is dependent on to make a trade. Now, don't you think that if you are following dollar blindly, following solution to solve dollar problem blindly, in the US, the owner of the dollar, you are following solution to solve the dollar problem while you have your own currency before dollars. And you are trying to solve it to make the currency to stand or to rise above the noise. And at the end of the day, you follow it. And when you make that decision, believing it is a good decision, you don't understand the impact it is going to actually give to your own economy, then you continue to fail. You continue to follow the same route because the US is following the same route. The Europe is following the same route without asking yourself, is this my thing? It has been a strategic means that the Europeans and every other Western, you know, it has been the ways which they have used to be more than 10 steps ahead of us at all given time. It is our challenges. It is a big problem to us. Because if we can understand our problem, knowing that the model of solving our problem cannot be the same model or the same way as the Europeans, because your problem is a problem of a small economy, or maybe your problem is a problem of big economy. The people you are looking up to might be a problem of different economy, maybe big, maybe small as well. Now you will adopt it. Now it takes you down and brings them up because you depend on them. They make a decision that helps their foreign, they help their nation to thrive. And you cannot hold them to account to it because it is foreign policy. You make a decision that will help you and your country to thrive. You align with those that helps your economy. That is exactly the way it is. Now you saw all that. You continue to follow blindly without even asking question. Even though they say that Onya Jojoa de Fuzo, a person who asks question will never miss their road. Have you now seen the reason why Africa will never, have its position in the global stage? You will never have your position in the global stage. Just like Robert Mugabe will always say that in the United Nations Security Council, we are not the permanent members of it. We are not a member of it. We are just an artificial members of it. If I want to quote him verbatim, that every year they will summon all the African leaders. And I heard William Ruto, the president of Kenya, saying the same thing. I don't know how Kenya were able to align with Nigeria to do some illegality on a political activist who is trying to help other Africans to decolonize, as well as fighting for the freedom of Biafra. His own sovereignty, the dignity of his sovereignty, he was fighting for. They decided to align. That's, I don't know, wow. Or maybe, of course, it is the previous administration, because previous administration, if you can understand the activities of the current administration in Kenya, you will understand that he is a learned man. He is a decolonized human being, not somebody who is led by the instruction of some certain individual or some certain nation without understanding the challenges you are facing where you found yourself. So I don't understand why such a nation would align with a nation like Nigeria to commit crime against humanity, commit crime against a political activist. Yet Kenya president today is now not only a president, he is now a political activist. He is now political activist. Does it mean that there is a way to do political activism? Or does it mean that there is, you know, political activists that deserve to be in a solitary confinement? That is a question we are going to ask to William Ruto, because, of course, if he care, mistakes of the previous administration will actually be addressed in the current administration, because these are the reasons why maybe the administration failed or succeed. Now, he is now a political activist. So we will continue to remind him of the crime committed in his country unjustly against a political activist. So that is by the way. Mugabe, they say, Africa, we are not the permanent members of it, original members of it. We are artificial members of it. Now, Ruto now in the Pan-African Parliament, which he addressed the African leaders and asked, why would you go to any time that you are summoned by the Europeans, they will summon you, or maybe by the UN Security Council, they will summon 52 from 52 countries and give you 1.5 minutes to actually make a submission because they summoned you all. Instead of recognizing the central body of Africa, which is the African Union, or having, or sending 4 or 5 delegates from African continent to represent Africa. So it means that that is another strategy of division. That is my own understanding. He might not say it, but that is what I see. It is another strategy of division. Because when they summon you, 50 of you, they want you to talk, they want some of you to talk from both sides of your mouth. They want some of you who are so scared of these people, the big nations, to be there and actually or you will actually incite fear on other people. There is there is actually psychological manipulations that I see working there. Because if, like, Nigeria president will come up and say, because every speech he made in Europe or in UN Security Council, hunger, and then you will always hear him say, I can assure you that we are working in solidarity with the world, or we are working to make sure that we defend the climate and work towards a greener energy. And then he will also say that the US democracy is one of the best democracy. If you are on the opposite direction of this US type of democracy, it means you are not going to get it right. The same president will talk. Then another person, if another person like William Ruto will come and say he doesn't want to speak in from both sides of his mouth, he wants to speak the truth, he wants to speak the truth to power, he will say that we are going to actually be, focused on the policies that will help Africa to have economic growth and be able to manage their minerals, because they have like 1.2 trillion economy and 2 point something billion population. We are actually trying to build a relationship that will free Africa, or make an alignment that will free Africa from exploitation and other ways of manipulation. Dude, then now the Europeans, who are the bosses who had imported these people to the UN Security Council, will look back and say, this one is becoming clever now. That is how they sell themselves out. One will be speaking truth to power. The other one will be making, I can assure you, to power. Then at the end of the day, they will say this one is becoming clever. The next thing, they waste him. You will look for him, because they are good at taking out presidents more than even ordinary people, because they know that when a word of a president is very, very impactful than a word of somebody like me who is nobody. So that is, but if all of them were to go to that Security Council, or 5 of them were actually prepared by the 52 of them, come to a resolution that this is how we are going to present our case, this is how we want it, and they present it. 5 of them went there, and they said they had the mind of Africans. Then, it is better that you see group of people as your enemy, because sometimes you might not be able to do anything because it is group of them. But if you see them, one person as your enemy amongst a group of people, it means that those group of people are not with you. So now that drops your, the intensity, the drive. So that is exactly the reason why they will invite 52 of you to go there. Some people who got their own speech was written from maybe from somebody or from Google. Now, at the end of the day, they will be reading, just like Buhari. Have you ever seen Buhari going to any world international stage and he is speaking without looking into a book? Because none of them comes from him. All of them was somebody's initiative given to the man, because he cannot think, he cannot reason for the sake of the country. He cannot have actually a constructive dialogue that will work on the favor of the country that he is representing. That's why whenever you see any president that there is nothing in their brain, whenever you see them addressing the nation, you know what they will do? They will read this thing as if you are not the one whom, bring up this initiative, that you will have to read it, focus on it, reading it until it's finished. There is nothing coming out of you. That is one of the, ways you will be able to understand an empty president. And apparently that president becomes your president. If he becomes your president, you should know that you are in big mess. Because if you are a president, regardless of consultation that you are going to make, in order to present your matter before anywhere, you must have something that you are going to put into it as a decision maker. And that thing, it is not even going to be, you don't need to be reading it like this. I'm reading it one after another. No, it came from you. You wrote it down, maybe. If you remember the beginning, you will finish it all. That is it. But because they are empty, they allow the colonialists to make decisions for them. They allow the people who are hustling when they are hustling against their economy to make a decision for them, knowing that you are dependent on their currency to sell your commodities. So, in this regard, how do you think that your nation will ever grow or thrive? How do you think Africa will have development or have a sustainable economy or infrastructure? Because if you look at the people that are hustling against your economy, they knew what they saw when they actually came to meet you for the first time. Pre-colonialism, they knew what Africa was made of. Africa, we are not dependent on fiat money. We are not dependent on that tissue paper called money. We are not dependent on them. We are dependent on the essential commodities. That is our wealth. Essential commodities, such as gold, such as diamond, such as silver, such as oil, such as uranium, such as all these things. That's why we trade and barter with each other. Now, they have to introduce an initiative where you will be, using a fiat money currency, which you use the US dollar to trade. Whenever there is anything that affects the US dollar, affects you. If the owner of US dollar decide to make a policy that will cripple you, they will make a policy that will destroy your economy for days, if not for years. Because you are using a fiat currency. Your currency is not actually backed up by gold. US economy or US currency is backed up by many things, many minerals. But how many of them is coming out of United States? None of them. Not many of them. I won't say none of them. Not many of them. And it means that the dollar is backed up by you and you in African continent, Latin America, and South America. It is of course, South America, Brazil is waking up as well. So it is you and you that their dollar depend on, that backed it up. Now, if you look at the BRICS plans to introduce a currency that is going to be backed up by gold, and that actually entails that if you don't have an essential commodity that is going to back up your fiat money, your economy is bound to collapse at any given time. Africa, you depend on fiat currency, tissue paper. And that is the reason why when whenever you have a leader, Those leaders, they will never do anything that will enable the economy, the country or the economy to grow, that will transition the economy to its own climax. You will, because these same people, they don't understand what type of policies that they need to introduce that will help their foreign policy. In fact, not that will help their foreign policy, that will actually, you know, work in line with their foreign policy. That will work in line with their foreign policy. They don't know such decisions that they can make in order to get there. Joan Arellano, long time, but I've been around though. Uh, you're also talking about oh, the autopilot also. They're telling me a long time on your autopilot. Are you begging me to actually start talking about your boss? Your boss is irrelevant. Your boss is irrelevant. So I don't need to, waste my time. Let me rather use my time to do the pressing things, important stuff. Your boss, I was talking to him about him because he was actually overstepping his boundary. So right now he decided to run mad on the street of Finland. So I don't need to, he is no longer in my level. We are going beyond such level of your boss. He is irrelevant. So I know that is a distraction that you people bring, but that's okay. We'll go back to where we stopped. So, sorry for that digression. It is important, very, very important, that you know that that currency you have, it is a tissue paper. Whenever you understand that your currency is a tissue paper, then you will never see a politician. If they will ever understand that what they are using is a tissue paper, you will never see any politician trying to embezzle money the way they are embezzling it in Nigeria. They will even go to the length of printing more money that brings inflation to the country in order to loot it, embezzle it, because it doesn't concern them. If dollar is 1 to 4, even if they print more money this night, if they have to print more money this night, maybe highest dollar will go to 1 to 420. They will use that opportunity, siphon those money, send it to their offshores. That's okay. And some of you, the reason why you are so in love with Nigeria today, or with your leaders across Africa today, even though they are doing things that they are not supposed to do, that they don't have right to do, because you are equal shareholder as him in that country where two of you are domiciled. You lended him your energy. You lended him your energy in order to use it and shape your future. All of you gathered and lended him your energy to use him to shape your future, for him to be your sacrificial lamb, to work for you. And while they are working for you, you forgot that now my energy is part of what this person is using. It is my own energy that he's using. It is part of it. Why can't I actually ask him some question? Because if you avoid challenging the authority, if you avoid engaging in constructive dialogues, ask them questions, speak truth to power, Be objective. Make sure that you understand that he is not God, but he is a leader that you made him. If you understand that context, I don't think you will allow yourselves to be exploited the way you are being exploited today in the hands of those you call your political leaders. You will never, they will never do it. They will never ever do such because they know absolutely well that you kept quiet for so long. So, whenever there is somebody who is trying to open your eyes, they have to shut that person down or kill him if his followers are not watching. They kill him. But if his followers are very, formidable, like IPOB to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they will take him, put him in a solitary confinement, torture him, and then because that's when they will now say, now that is, what they did to Mazen Nnamdi, what they are doing to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu now. It is the Nigeria actually making use of their foreign policy. I am telling you, that is the reason why not many countries, not many nations will actually decide, except if such nation is a nation that God love or love God and respect other, a nation with humanity. I'm telling you, a nation that has humanity. That is the only nation that will stand boldly and call on the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Or the nation like the US, if they have humanity, or Britain. Britain is Nigeria colony. They can. Sorry, Nigeria is British colony. So Nigeria and Britain can ask such question to Nigeria. Not only that, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen. So have you seen the connection that give them the right to actually ask? America can ask in a way constructively. How will they ask? They will say to, because so many of you who believe that the US is not talking about the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu or these countries or that countries, that makes them that they are ignorant to the abuse of human rights. You should also understand that foreign policy is in play here. And Nigeria actually remember their foreign policy whenever they are toppling on your rights or whenever they are engaging in infringement of human rights. That's the only time Nigeria remember that there is foreign policy in existence. Now, but let me remind Nigeria, foreign policy stated that you are going to make a decision that will be for the benefit of your own nation and the benefit of those who dwell in your nation. Now, the kidnap and the arrest of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is never in benefit of your own nation. How? Number one, millions of people in your population are against the move. If you conduct a referendum, you will find it out. Forget those mediocre, those people who have access to media, because they are the ones who impoverish their own people, especially in the north. They have access to media. That's why most of the things that happens in the north is not brought to media. Because these people, they practice what is called rancadere system. It is a feudal system of government where somebody stays at the top, command people from on the ground to do anything because they are in poverty, abject poverty. You know, so many of you will say that what is happening in Nigeria, that the poverty in Nigeria is only affecting Biafra land. No, it is not true. Poverty in Nigeria is affecting Nigeria and beyond. Do you know why? Because there are some criminals who found themselves in the political space. They selected them because if you are not in that criminality sector, you will not be selected within your jurisdiction. They selected them all to impoverish this nation. The people that are actually, you know, they are so-called voters. They impoverish them. They make them live in abject poverty. At the end of the day, those who realize or who knows their rights, just like Biafra in Nigeria, it is only Biafrans that knows their right in Nigeria more than any other Nigerian. Those who knows their right will be seen as an aggressor. Just like I told you the reason why they invite all African leaders, 52 African leaders, to the United Nations Security Council. So that when some people who know their right talk, because the other ones, majority of them who didn't know their right, they sided with the exploiters. Then it becomes that those who knows their right, they become the target and the aggressor. Have you now seen the way it plays? So they gathered 2, 3, different nations and bring them together. Then one who knows their rights, who knows, remember their history, remember that they are not part of it, they can do better than this. Those who, they will be seen as aggressor. Such as Biafra became the aggressor today, according to Nigeria and British oligarchy. Hausas, they have the highest poverty in Nigeria. Fulanis, they have the highest poverty. Hausas, they have Fulanis have the highest poverty. Hausas follow. Then Yorubas come with. Then the Igbos. You know why the Igbos have the lowest poverty in Nigeria, poverty rate? Because we knew that we knew before time, or we know before time. Some of us, not all of us, because if you look around you, there are people that there are 3 different set of people in Biafra land. There are ignorant set of people. Those are the people you see today, even today. They are more Christianized than the Pope. They are very ignorant. They can never agree with they will never be able to engage with, they will never be objective in anything they do. They are one-sided. They will never want to learn. They will not be open for, conversation or to dialogue. They will never. It is all about what they want or what they say that goes. The information that was actually manipulated into them, that's what they do with. Outside such information, you find out that these people doesn't exist. They are like living dead. They don't think. They only follow. Those are the type of people, and those are the ones you'll find in your political space. That is the worst part of it. You found them in your political space. They are the ones leading the people who are the so-called intelligent people, who are so-called entrepreneurial minds, who are the so-called industrious people, those that are very ignorant, found themselves in the leadership space while you find yourself in a voter space. You give them, allow them to be there, and they will mess your life up. It takes a successful person to grant you success or to show you a means to success. But none of these people were ever successful. It is from one prison to another. If you think about them, these are criminals. There are many ex-convicts that has ruled Nigeria. A person who has been a person who has been arrested and actually sentenced is a criminal. They are victim of a crime. Somehow, those are the people who becomes the leader in Nigeria. I think I didn't put it well. Anybody who has become a party to a crime or sentenced for a crime, it means they are criminal. There is a criminal record. Even if they are unlawfully sentenced, they have given them a criminal record. So such criminal records supposed to be questioned if such person is coming to actually contest for any leadership position. They're supposed to question or investigate more to understand this criminality that this guy went to prison for, and now reintegrated. Did this person go through a rehabilitation process, or did that person because of nepotism or favoritism, because whoever that is actually the kingmakers, they found out that the type of criminal this person was, we can use him because he is looking for this fiat money. Only thing they are looking for is fiat money, fiat currency. They don't actually think about any other thing or benefit of any other person. We can use him. Bah! You become a president of the country. Because they want to see the type of criminality you involve with. They will know if it is matching to the type of person they are going to plant as a stooge in that place. These are the reason why in every 36 states of Nigeria, you will hardly get any good governance. Never. Because the games of the elite, they will always pick people who are their stooge and place there. Maybe some of them might build road because you will not a man come ogonogo. Some of them might decide to build road. Yes, they might, they can. Like Dave Umahi building you airport. Regardless of how many people Dave Umahi slaughtered, killed, how many lives was lost under his administration. He's building road and he built airport for you to console you so that you will still see him. He's the only governor who built this, do that. They are preparing him for a higher position. That's why they actually let him kill you and build such thing. Because if he is not a killer, he cannot build such thing. Because they know that he can kill you. But the only way out of it, The only way out of it is to actually make him do one or two things, because you forget so quickly. Once they see something like a structure, this is an airport built by Dave Umahi. You know that governor of Ebonyi State. The same is applicable to what Peter Obi did in Anambra State to Igbo people. He killed them. He killed them. But because he kept, he went into the history that Peter Obi is the only governor who returned change. you know. This night I am actually throwing all your sins in front of your eyes. I'm telling you your sins. That's what I am doing. The reason why I am telling you your sins this evening, all of you, I am not being, I am not actually being on the path of fighting for Biafra only right now. I am throwing all your sins in front of you so that you will now ask yourself question. Why are we forcing it when we can make a decision that will change our lives for good? That is the reason why I told you that I am actually bringing, constructive dialogue, constructive argument. That is exactly what I am doing. Now, you find all these leaders like Devil Mahi or Devil Omahi. You find him, he built airport that will, the things that you will not forget. Because whenever you look at the structure or you fly in aeroplane, you land there, you will say, no, this one, Dave Umahi. And you will say, nah, give him president or give him, this is applicable to all of them because they have done something that is always here. Whenever you look at it, you remember them. That's how they also create a stooge for themselves. Now, you will easily, after 5 years, you forget that Dave Umahi killed hundreds and thousands of people in Ebonyi State. The same is applicable to Hope Uzodimma. Don't be surprised one day. Okay, they gave him the, okay, what was that? It was Hope Uzodimma that they gave the oil, whatever, in Imo State. All these things. Or was it Hope Uzodimma? No. They will find something, if there is nothing there yet, to actually make him do. So that 2-3 years, whenever you remember that, you say, Hope Uzodimma, Oluluzo, he built this, he built that. They will always remember something. They will do something that will make you to actually. Good afternoon, Pauline Chinasa Dikoha. Good afternoon. They will make you understand or make you to remember them in good faith or good standing, forgetting how much atrocities they have committed against you in the past. That's what they do, and that is what they continue to do. In the 36th state of Nigeria, there is no leader that is better than the other. All of them were selected as a cabal, as a member of a cabal, or they have actually seen the criminality in them, what they can be used for. They become the stooge to them, one way or the other. No one is exceptional, because as long as you belong to the game of politics they play in that contraption called Nigeria, you will never be the same person. You are trading on the evil track. Now, because you will trade your conscience for the money, for the fiat money, currency, paper, tissue paper. Now, at the end of the day, you ask yourself, Now every 4 years they select somebody, or they now look for somebody to call the president. Overall, overall, and that person, if you look at them, you will understand that they are brutal. They are very, very brutal set of people. In the history of Nigeria, apart from the marginalization that is extreme, because it is only in that leadership position now, the biggest one, that they are actually showing Biafrans. No, you people, you should actually, this is your position, you cannot exit this. If you exit this, we don't trust you. You can't exit this. And at the end of the day, it is true, you are being marginalized more when it comes to the top position of leadership. In the last 50 years, let me say in the last 30 years, or will I say, okay, the last 20 years, because I want to start from the time coup still seeks to exist in Nigeria. How many of your leaders were voted out of office in the first tenure? None. The ruling party, incumbent president, always emerge victorious in the second, semester. They always emerge victoriously. But except when a Biafran man, Goodluck Jonathan, assumed that office, they actually removed PDP. PDP that nobody can challenge in Nigeria, because he's a Biafran man, educated man, soft man, a man that still have some conscience, a man that still know how to run something. Is academia, uh, immediately that man got in there, you saw things change. That's why they will never allow any Biafran to the seat or position of power in Nigeria, because they change stuff. Things, change. Because the people who set up this nation, that they brought 1, 2, 3 different nations together who doesn't like each other. They brought them together, and they make sure, the reason why is to make sure they will not create a sustainable society. They will never have a sovereign nation, because they will continue to have issues within themselves. Because you cannot bring lion and leopard and a dog, you make them to unite as family. Lion and leopard might unite, but they will have their own boundary somehow. And the worst part of it, you brought male lion and male leopard. Now you brought a male dog. And now you empower the dog. The dog is now intimidating all these people, everything, because you use a guard, you guard the lion and leopard, you guard their mouths. The dog who can bite now is the one, because you didn't guard him. He is now the one who is intimidating everyone. This is how Nigeria was put together. That's why they say, let's try to mix oil and water. Now, these people selecting the worst human beings in your various states, in your various communities, to make them your leaders, knowing that these people will never govern you or even care about you. Rather, they will kill you. And while they are doing it, who is benefiting? The people who put up the settings or who put up the structure called Nigeria. Nigeria as a name is a name that is a felt. A felt. And when I say it, don't think that I have moved away from my constructive argument or dialogue. You know why? The reason why I said Nigeria itself is a felt. First of all, the World Nigger or Royal Nigger Company that was found by Britain, which according to the story they told, the story they told, they say it is an oil company. They deal on red oil. According to the story they told, I say according to the myth and legendary story they told. But you and I knows that nigger signifies the name of it is the name given to a slaves that was taken to Europe. Nigger. It was a name given to a slave that was taken to Europe. Nigger company, slave company. Now, at the end of the day, they brought this male leopard. Sorry. Well, I think male lion, and they now brought also the other one is a tiger. There is lion and tiger, right? There is lion, there is tiger. Male tiger and male leopard. Male lion. And they brought a dog. They now brought these two things together. Now give dog the power. I'm not calling any of you dog. I'm not calling any of you lion. I am just talking. Now give dog the power. And the dog is now intimidating lions. Lions, anything they want, they will go and beg dog. Hey dog, can we be please Igbo presidents? Then the tiger will be okay. The tiger will go and ask, can we be maybe we will be presidents. We will support you this time, but make sure you will give it to us on the other time. Then the tiger will now come. Can we please be Igbo presidency? Because now the dog has teeth, it can bite. The tiger's one was chained, or it was guarded with there is this thing they build to protect their face. They can breathe only. They can see and breathe. So, have you now seen that it does not balance, it does not add up? Now those people will now be howling at themselves while the dog is killing them, is biting them because the dog has teeth. It can bite. And they named them Nigeria, after the company that British created during slave trade. They named Nigeria a nation after evil act of the colonialist. What an irony. How do you then think that you will ever succeed as a nation on a normal ground? Let's remove the agitation behind. Let's leave agitation behind. How do you think? It is in Nigeria that a saying says, a name guides a person. And in the last 63 years, none of all this one Nigerianist you know, one Nigerianist ever suggested, let's change this nation. Let's change the name of this nation. Maybe in the after the war, let's change the name of this nation to see if it is going to work. None of them. None. It is still Nigeria, a filth, evil done against you. Your own children was taken, your own family members was taken, taken into a slave ship, tie a yoke of iron on their neck, just like the prophecy was given in Deuteronomy 28. Now, in front of your eyes, just like the prophecy was said in Deuteronomy 28, it is very important that every black man go and read the book of Deuteronomy 28 so that it will actually give you more closer relationship with your creator, not your pastor or your imam. Very, very important. Now, they put a yoke of iron on their neck. After all that thing, they even force the women to bed, even in front of their husbands, or in front of their brothers, siblings, or in front of their children. They did all that to our people. Then they now throw it on your face by naming a nation that you call your own after the ordeal, after the atrocity they have done against you. And you bought it. Oh my God. And how do you think it will ever work? And you haven't questioned it. Then how do you think Nigeria will ever come up to question anything that the big world throw at Africa as a giant of Africa, the biggest economy in Africa? How do you think they are going to stand in the global stage to defend this continent of Africa? How do you think they will defend it? They cannot. They are subject. When a giant is a subject, what do you expect from the followers of the giant, or from the rest of them? Nigeria will never question any decision of the Europeans, no matter how much they pretend about it. Now, on the 29th of May, you will find out that democracy is going to be toppled. When I say democracy, I am actually promoting Nigeria and their practices of the so-called democracy, because now I will call it a name, whether it makes sense to you or grammatically sensible, doesn't matter, but you will understand it. Nigeria pretentious democracy, or they are pretentious towards democracy. They are actually going to disgrace their pretense, because the type of democracy you find in Nigeria, it's an act of false pretense. They are very, very pretentious about the type of democracy they have. If you actually go back to the antecedents of Nigeria as a nation, or the people who ruled Nigeria, none of them have a good report. None of them have a good history. They are all, bad human beings. They imposed it on you. They are killing you. They are destroying your lives. They continued where these slave traders stopped. They now practicing slavery. How? By impoverishing you with what belongs to you. Even, sitting on what belongs to you, impoverishing you, killing you, intimidating you. That's what they do. That's what they do all the time. And at the end of the day, you want me that have seen the light to come and sit with you that does not have, you don't, that does not have decisions that are rational. You are emotional. You are ignorant. You want me that have seen the light to come and be, sitting next to you so that we'll be making noise. We will make noise. You will not be objective. You will not be open to a healthy argument. No, I cannot. You are a setback. What you represent is a setback. How can I be a setback? I have been a setback by, growing up and picking up a passport in the name of Nigeria. It has been a setback in my life. It is no joke. And the same applicable to you. The only people who believe that it has not been a setback to them are the political friends, politicians and their friends. Because of course in Biafra land you will see people like Atezenu, but money, you will not, these are politician friends or secret politicians. That's what they are. They are doing something so secret that if you are exposed to them, sometimes you will even try to, give them mob justice. But very, very important, it is time for you to ask yourself in the last 64 years or 63 years, what has Nigeria given to you? What has Nigeria given to you? Did Nigeria give you, protection? Because this type of people, these three type of people in Biafra land, ignorant people, religious people. Okay, no. Ignorant goes with religious people. Let me not make it 4. 3, ignorant people, politicians who are very, very criminal minded. Then you find people who are exposed and emancipated. Those are 3 people in Biafra land. And that is why there is, all this clash. Because ignorant person pick up such topic that favors him. They are not open-minded. Politicians pick up the type of activities that enlarges his pocket with fiat money, paper that has no value. That's what they do. Once they see I have 100 billion in the account, they will want to buy Lamborghini, they buy Ferrari, they buy, fly overseas first class, they fly first class and they take a picture. I'm flying first class. With whose money? Your nice money, and you are acknowledging it. God bless you, I received this type of blessing. I received. Ever since you started claiming and receiving such type of blessing, did they ever come to you? The answer is no. You continue to receive. That's how these politicians and their secret politicians will will continue to be bragging. When you see them, they will be bragging as if there is something about them, as if nowhere their part that is remaining at home. When you see people, you call them billionaires, they will be bragging. Just like Cubana chief priest. I don't know why he brags so much. He is bragging as if there is part of his life that is remaining at home. As if he has a spare life. You know what is called a spare life that is left over at home, that he left in the house before coming out. Without knowing, you can, if you get sick, you will stop bragging, you cool, you relax. It comes to everybody. It is not you will be seeing this type of people. Some of them, you know their activities with Hope Uzodinma, who is killing you. At the end of the day, you see them bragging. Once they post a picture, they are in a first class plane. You will say, I receive. Without knowing what you are receiving. Without knowing what you are actually, I claim it. What are you claiming? For goodness sake, you are claiming and recycle, wickedness. That's what you are claiming and recycling. You see Dangote, of course, he doesn't show himself off so much. Or you see any other person, you will say, I receive, I claim it. Or they will post a picture on first class. They will say, receive this type of lifestyle. People will be, if you say amen, this type of lifestyle will be yours. People will be saying amen will reach more than 100 trillion. Because people believe just if you say amen, you receive. Those are the ignorant people praising the people who exploit them, praising their criminals. That's how it is. You find a politician's son, post a picture where he is on a first class. The ignorant people will be saying, he will say, if you write amen, you will receive this type of lifestyle. Ignorant will be writing amen, I receive. Some will go to inbox, can you give me, please, buy me, try to start chatting to make friends with them. They won't even talk to you. They won't look at you. This type of people are so full of themselves. They're just posting it because if they talk to you, they believe that you are no longer going to call them, respect them, call them sir, see them as role model. No, that's what they believe. And that is what the way it is. But you believe that, as in if nkita Jesu anya afuko onyula anya ogba agbo. And that is some of this adage that our people misinterpreted, using it to enslave themselves. There is nothing like Onyafuku. Only for Ganyologi. He cannot, nothing. These are not type of people that you will go and do apprenticeship with. Those are not type of people. The real people you did apprenticeship with, when apprenticeship is still the order of the day in Biafra land, those type of people, they hardly exist anymore. Not those people, Buga people. Some of them, they are audio money. Some of them, they have audio money. Fanachi, na hang shoulder. Oduko nwe ha pastor. And what if a pastor, man? Now you will understand that a black man is the only person whom they will award him a contract. Instead of doing the contract first, they go and buy themselves Ferrari first. They say that we are building image. We use it to build image. How can you leave a contract given to you, you go and buy Ferrari? Now you will use the change and make the contract, damage everything. Build a graveyard in the name of building road. You say you buy Ferrari because you are building image. Deceiving yourself. Just like a girl that is driving, someone, I came across a Biafran, will I call it a Biafran lady or girl? She's still a girl. I think she's 21 years old. This child said that she is driving a Jeep of 36 million naira. She's having a business. You look at all these type of people. You look at them, Jeep of 36 million. Maybe let's give it to her. She built a house of 15 million. A house of 15 million, Jeep of 36 million, selling clicker online. Now, that 36 million you used to buy Jeep, don't you think it will build for you a clothing factory in Nigeria so that you will manufacture your own clothes, even no matter how small, but you use it to go and buy Jeep? You are using it to build. If you ask them, they use it to build image. These are utter nonsense. That is why you see celebrities all over the place in Nigeria. But all these people, I don't want to actually mention their name, but all of them. The only thing you see them changing cars, competing with cars, doing this, doing that. But there is no factory where you come from. You haven't given up to 100 people employment. But you are buying cars of millions. Then tomorrow you say, I am helping people. Help them by creating a job and giving to them, not give them fiat money. And tomorrow you will think you are helping them. You are not helping nobody. You cannot build a business that will employ them and give them good life, independent life. But you will go and give, maybe you take 1 million, you give somebody. Another day, you take 1 million, you give somebody. Then you buy a Jeep of 200 million. Those ignorant fools, they will be clapping for them. Congratulations, this and that. They will never advise you. They will never advise you. Because sometimes you are ignorant to even understand that they are telling you the truth. You cannot live a pleasure before life or before work. You work, then you leisure. Because now, if the whole people in your communities, they are employed. Because all these supercars you are driving, it will now push you to go and have bodyguards. Because now a supercar man, you need to prove you have bodyguard to protect you from the criminals in your community. Had it been you create jobs, opportunity, just like Innocent is doing. Just like Innocent is doing. Just like Dangote is doing. Even though he stole the whole of Nigerian money and doing it under the regime of some of the regime of even Obasanjo. It is the right of Nigerians that he is using to. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, he created employment across Nigeria. Innocent created employment across Nigeria. Such as all these Obuawa them and Ife Sinachi them and all these people. They have what you will see. That is called an empire. They built an empire. Not because you build one mansion in Lekki or Banana Island, then you will buy yourself 100 million car because you have built a mansion. Build one in the village, build one in Lekki. What about when you are getting old? What is it that is going to help you to retire? That is the reason why some of these celebrities, you will look at them, you find them that they gone old, they disappear, they die of one sickness or the other because they did not leave behind something to write home about them. They were living an image. It is a problem of a black man who manufactures these cars that you buy and you are actually bragging about all the time. Who manufacture it? The Europeans, the people who actually brought your predicament. They are the ones. The people who control your economy, they manufacture it. The people who control your fiat money, your tissue paper you call money, they manufactured it. Then you will continue to push this money that you made from your people or from some of them for leisure back to them without establishing anything that will bring you to, that will bring you to the point of building a generational wealth without stealing from anybody. Because the politicians, they don't establish factories. Their generational wealth is that you have 10 buildings in America. You have 5 in Dubai. You have 6 in that place. One day, get a child that is so crazy. He will sell all of them. Sell. O nwere ka ọgba ọkwụọ ma mkpụrụ mmiri. Ọ bụrụ ihe history nweta. But when you establish a business cannot be sold easily because there is board members in this business, there are directors, there are investors. So this thing will not make him to wake up one day and say, nah, I want to sell this business. If you sell it, another person that is investor will buy it from you or shareholder. And the same business still stays in that community. You will never be forgotten that you are the one who established this business. It will always be beneficial to your community. But they will not do that. They're buying supercars, living a media life. I know that as I am saying it, some of you might think I am jealous because I cannot afford supercar. You never know. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. But don't see what I am saying. Don't look at it in a layman's point of view. Look at it with everything you have. Weigh it. You will understand what we are saying. Why do we need to always look for foreign investors to come and invest in our Africa when the rich people, black people that are rich, are buying supercars? Always we wait for foreign investors to come and invest so that our communities have employment. But your own people, they are the ones establishing those foreign investors to come and take the money from your land and go home and pay you tariff and tax. That's the way it is. Because you are not industrious. The people who are industrious, they are oppressed. Biafrans are industrious. Believe you me. Some Yorubas are industrious. And those who are working, who are actually, even some Hausas are industrious. I don't know about Fulanis, because all their life they have been moving cattle from place to place. I don't know about their history. Now, all your life, all their lives, they've been, in Nigeria, the people who are doing something very, straight, who are doing straight and using their hard labor to make their money, such as Innocent, such as all these Inewi guys, and all of them, you will never get this government to recognize and support them. Because remember when they recognize and support them, like Innocent, the whole of Nigeria is supposed to be driving his cars. If you, if there is one Nigeria, even in Biafra land, all these billionaires and millionaires, if they are not evil, even if they have all their supercars, they should buy one of the supercar of Innocent, driving it. If not for anything, the way they will say, this is our own. Bunch of hypocrites. They're supposed to buy one, driving it, even if they don't bring it to the media, because they wouldn't want to, because it is their brothers. But they will bring all these European cars, Japanese cars. They will bring them, flaunting it, German cars, but they will never bring their own brother's car. They will never. I have told myself, any day I will touch base in Biafra land again, the car that I am going to buy is Innocent. I am not advertising for him. He is my brother. Any car, the car I am going to buy will be Innocent. You know why I will buy Innocent? It is better than that Jeep you buy that killed somebody in US. You imported it. Maybe they cut it half. You came back and joined it. It is better than that. Don't you think? And maybe the money you will spend there, you will spend it to buy a brand new car with a service plan. These are the things that people does not think about. They always think about, no, what will I want to add big. Big with motobulu mad. A car that kill people in the US. Those are the type of car you want to brag about. Isi obodo Igbo. Our people be wise. Now let me use this few minutes I have left before we call it a day to talk about this attack on the convoy of the diplomats in the US. If we have more time, we actually go back to this. Our people are not patriotic. Pauline Chinasa said because they don't believe in patronizing. They don't. How will they believe in patronizing when they are born to compete with each other? It is all about competition. Who will be called Akona Takasi? Who will be called Ochinwata na Nnewi? Who will be called Nka na Enugu? Who will be called Nka na Abuja? That is the only thing that is the limitation of a black man, especially people from Nigeria. In fact, people from sub-Sahara region. Those, they need help. Serious help. That's what they need. Now let me read. 4 people killed in attack on U.S. diplomatic convoy in Nigeria. Government attacked 2 police operatives and 2 consulate staff, then abducted 2 policemen and a driver. Government have attacked a U.S. diplomatic convoy in the southeast Nigeria's Anambra state, killing 4 people and abducting 3 others. No U.S. citizens were in the convoy. Wow. According to U.S. and Nigeria officials, the government murdered 2 of the police mobile force operatives and the 2 staff of the consulate before setting their vehicle on fire in the attack on Tuesday, said police spokesperson Ikenga Tochukwu. No U.S. citizen was in the convoy, he said. Security forces deployed to the scene, said Tochukwu, but the gunmen managed to abduct 2 police operatives and a driver. A rescue recovery operation was underway. Tuesday evening, he added in his statement, U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby confirmed the attack during a briefing with reporters in the Washington, D.C. A U.S. convoy of vehicles was attacked. What I can tell you is that No U.S. citizens were involved. Kirby said the State Department also confirmed the attack. U.S. mission Nigeria personnel are working with Nigeria Security Service to investigate a spokesperson said the security of our personnel is always paramount, and we take extensive precaution when organizing trip to the field. Separatists who operate in the region have escalated their attack in recent years, usually targeting police or government buildings. Nigeria officials often blame attacks in the southeast on the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra movement IPOB and its armed wing, the Eastern Security Network. IPOB has reportedly denied responsibility for the violence. The group's leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is a British Nigeria citizen who was arrested in Kenya and returned to Nigeria. He was not arrested, he was kidnapped. That's why the court ruled in his favor that Nigeria has no jurisdiction on the case he's been tried with. And he cannot be tried in Nigeria because there is no extradition document that they presented to court as per the means which they use to bring him back to Nigeria. So whoever the writer is, correct yourself before you sound stupid in the global, in the eyes of the globe. Before you sound stupid, because you are sounding stupid right now. If you actually arrested and returned, you cannot arrest and return. You arrest and you extradite back to wherever they come from. So when you say arrested and return, it doesn't make sense. I don't even know which journalist is writing this, but I will mention the name of this media company before. Separatism is a sensitive issue in Nigeria, where a declaration of an independent Biafra Republic by Igbo army officers in the southeast in 1967 triggered a 3-year civil war that left more than 1 million people dead, more than 3.5 million women and children. I know that you are trying to assuage the situation, but we know the truth. We cannot let you in. Violence in the southeast is just one of the many issues facing President Bola Tinubu, who takes the helm of Africa's most populous nation later this month. Have you now seen the hypocrisy of these people? This is the Guardian. The hypocrisy of these people, violent in the southeast, is the reason why it is not easy for Tinubu. But they are not talking about the killings. Dude, if I show you the picture that emanated from the north, is it not west? The way they killed people, they butchered children, body piled everywhere. And people are talking about violence in the southeast. Nigeria, who did this to you? So the life of the people in the north does not matter because they don't have media. Have you now seen the reason why we say that this type of people cannot rule over us? They don't even have human sympathy. These people, they don't have backbone. They don't have a heart. These people, there is mass killing in the north, middle belt. Governors are crying. But they are now telling us that the insecurity in the southeast is the problem of Tinubu, president-select. That's what they call him. Now, I am not sure of how the US is planning to investigate whatever that is going on in Biafra land, or whether they are how the US are planning to actually bring their investigation on this attack that was actually set up by Nigeria government. And I don't know the orchestration of this plan. I am not sure why and how the investigation is going to go, because when we see the formation of the investigation, we will be able to find out if indeed it is going to be investigation or it is going to be invasion. Because there is something I want you to understand. If there is no smoke without fire, maybe somebody from the US might have, tell their stooge, the politicians, somewhere to stage something like this so that US will send their troop into Biafra land in the name of peacekeeping. Don't forget what happened in Iraq. Do not forget so quickly what happened in Iraq. Our people are not known to attack foreign mission. Our people are not known to attack foreign mission. The only people that could carry out this rubbish, they are the agents. The plan could be to invade Biafra land in the name of they are attacking diplomats, in the name of they are, we know all these things. It is a politics. It is the way to create, to stir up a dust and react to it. That is actually what I am seeing here. I am not even going to tell you that it is not Biafrans, or it is not, it doesn't have anything to do with us. You know the truth, that we don't kill, we don't attack foreigners, we don't attack diplomats. They are not our problem. The last time Nigeria orchestrated such plan with Catriona Lang, because of course she finalized her own job. IPOB intelligence managed to extract such information, and we made it public that there is planned attack against, there is an attack being planned against Catriona Lang. No matter how much we hated her, that he shouldn't go to this place. There are criminals in every country, but the worst of them is terrorism. The terrorism in the northern Nigeria, is not a problem of Buhari or Tinubu, so president-elect. It is only the problem in Biafra land, secession, self-determination in Biafra land, that has become a problem of president-elect. Why are we, including journalists, they can never be objective in their reportage. Look at this. Self-determination, terrorism that kill people on a daily basis. The security wings that we actually created, it is only also to curb the menace of terrorist attack in our land, not actually to attack anybody. When the Nigeria agent, who is playing a double agent role in this media space in the name that he is fighting for Biafra, when they brought him from the periphery to the mainstream, don't forget, we stood and we debunked him. We fought with him until he stopped everyday IPOBs. Yeah, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu Asilia. until we actually make sure that we made people see the light. Some of his people, his accomplices saw the light. They were following him blindly. They woke up and we leave the job for them to continue to debunk them for what they truly are, because we did it and we have given birth to them, so continue to do it. That's why you don't see me talking about it. That's why I say it is no longer relevant. So you don't expect me to come here again and start telling you it is this person, it is that person. It is up to you. Of course, Soludo, you are educated man and you are the governor of Anambra State, the state where the crime scene. If you want, you'll allow this. Maybe they will tell you they are sending US intelligence to come and investigate. You allow them. Let them go and investigate first what is happening in the north. I thank God, because they will not risk their own people, because they know how gullible Nigeria is. They know how gullible Nigeria is. So they cannot risk their own people. They know that they have to risk lives of other people. If they send any military, it is invasion. If you like, you allow it. As in if you get stung by a bee, if you see Texas fly or even big fly, green fly, you will run away. You will think it is the bee. Very important. Iraq, there was they said there was a weapon of mass destruction that is potentially in Iraq. From there, they invaded Iraq. Weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. They invaded Iraq. Now, all of a sudden, a diplomat convoy was attacked. They look for a way to set up this crime scene. It is in our land, in Biafra land. What a shame. We are better than that. You cannot deceive us with such, rubbish, such drama. It is true, it is the lives of innocent people they will use it to set up this drama. But the most important thing is our land cannot be a land that will be invaded. We need to we need to actually make sure that our intelligence are up and working, because Nigeria is planning everything. The international community, they have seen those who are actually bribed by Nigeria, seeing they have tried every possible ways of inducting IPOB, supporting Nigeria for calling them terrorists. They couldn't see. They saw we are clean. We are super clean. And we are fighting for the sovereignty of our nation. So it is important that the sovereignty of our nation, it is actually not a crime. Self-determination, not a crime in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Self-determination is not a crime. So how can ours become a crime? Eastern Security Network was set up to protect our land from the invasion of the terrorists. And now, because they have taken our leader in, they now continue to send terrorists in military uniform to burn buildings. But now we continue to debunk it. It is gaining, actually, the information now is gaining traction. They decided to pull up this stunt. They have used agent provocateur, double agent. It never worked. He's just lying to people in order to make sure he gets some money to feed his ego. Now they want to pull up this stunt. It is actually a very, very cheap one. My time is up here. It is going to kick me out. But if you kick me out, know that until we meet again, you stay safe and stay informed. But these things, I know that I haven't treated all the topic that we have this evening, but however, don't forget, Nigeria must be disintegrated for the benefit of those who found themselves in that circle. A master will never do anything that will help the slave to thrive. Any structure created by these oppressors will never enable you to thrive. You destroy